In this database, I'm going to explore what the factors were as to whether a person lived or died on the Titanic, and I'm going to make a model and see how well that I can predict that using a training set and a test set. Here you see the Titanic workflow. This is sort of a fairly basic workflow for a CSV data set. As you see, here's the training data. The training and test data were split into two different equal halves. And the first thing I wanted to look at was the statistics node. And you can see that the statistics node yields a number of histograms, the top one being whether you survived or not, 0 being not survived, and 1 being survived. And then there's passenger class, sex, and a whole number of other things. And here's the survival by sex histogram. As you can see, it was a much better thing to be a female on the Titanic than a male. The female survived at a much higher rate. And it was also good to be a child, 8 years or younger, because the children, it looks like, survived almost absolutely. So if you were under 8, you were in good shape. Now I've added a decision tree learner to all this information, so I can create one of our old favorite decision trees. And you see here that as we noted before, that the single element that was most predictive of survival or death on the Titanic was sex. So then I wanted to try and use a decision tree to predict the with the test set. Now that I've got a training set, so I'm added the decision tree predictor and another CSV reader where I'm going to read in the test set part of the data. And here's the test set. You can see this starts at row 892, which is halfway through the data set, and the first person's name is Kelly. It's important to note that the data sets are not the same. I checked this several times and did not use the same data set to test and train, because here's what I want to show. That the sex outcome was exactly the same. The numbers were exactly the same as in the training data set. So our model predicted exactly the same thing. So I'm thinking that this data set must somehow have been manipulated somehow into training and test subsets.